It's Wednesday, September 27th. We are live at day 2 of ASOTU CON. We have some news to talk about before we get into today. Biden visiting a picket line, big tech stifling innovation, and ASOTU CON day 2 wrap up. See, I had my timing right. Okay, just couldn't hear the music. Yeah, I'm back.
Bump it.
It's okay.
Bump the tune.
We need it. We need it. People are rolling hard around here.
See, there it is. They just had that fader down.
I know. Look, I'm so excited that we feel this fresh on day 2 because last year we were like pushing each other around in a wheelbarrow on day 2.
You are still right.
Straight up.
I had about 10% voice left. I'm still about, 92, 93, so I'm doing good.
I'm doing great because my voice goes usually before yours, and last year I was full like, I mean, I'd probably be at 90%, but there was an Eagles game on night 1, and I walked by, and they scored a touchdown, and I let out a scream, and I was like, oh no.
Oh, there it went.
There it goes.
Yeah, that's what it'll get you the sports every time. Man, yesterday was so good. I got the opportunity to host a few panels and podcasts that were just dialed in. Listen to this, Don Williamson from Effective almost made me cry in the middle of a podcast.
It's not as hard as one might think to make Kyle cry during a podcast.
It was wild, yeah. So that was my day experience yesterday, and we got to share more than cars with everybody yesterday afternoon in a really unique way that wasn't like the full long form. We saw all 4 episodes kind of mashed up that we have recorded, and the feedback from that was just amazing. So,
oh man, I think there are more dealers that wanted to come to their store.
Right.
And I think if you're listening and you're a dealer and you see this mashup, you're going to want us to come to your store.
Absolutely.
Also, I think you mentioned podcasts. We have a live podcast stage at the event where all day we're recording 10 to 12 minute short quick hit podcasts. I remember listening to, it's called ASOTU CON Sessions. And if you just search it on Apple or Spotify, you'll find it. ASOTU CON, one word, I think? Yeah, ASOTU CON, one word, Sessions. You can check out last year's because they're still great. And we're going to be releasing this year's. That's a way that you can kind of hear a little bit of the side conversation of what was going on at ASOTU CON. If you can't be here, couldn't be here.
Yep.
And we promise we're going to get you 2024 dates really soon.
We are.
We're going to get much earlier this year. But check out those podcasts. I remember those being some of my favorite podcasts or content pieces coming out of last year.
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
All right.
Come on.
Okay.
We got to do our normal
All right, we have to do
you
the
know?
UAW update. Do we have the track? Tell me we have.
UAW update.
Oh, that feels so good because it's so appropriate for today. Joe Biden became the first sitting U.S. president in modern history to join a picket line. I said, join a picket line. UAW had an all.
He was like, doop, doop,
He had bullhorn, he had UAW, he had someone talking in his ear telling him what to say. It was perfect. This event took place outside GM's Willow Run Redistribution Center in Belleville, Michigan, during the 12th day of the UAW strike. So during his visit, he expressed support for the workers, emphasizing they deserve basically more money. And so here's the quote. There's a couple great quotes in this. Well, when I say great, I mean kind of significant. He says, and just picture your best Joe Biden delivery.
Yeah, don't try.
Whatever that's like. I can't do Joe Biden.
I can't do Biden.
You deserve what you've earned, and you've earned a hell of a lot more than what you're getting paid now. Dude, that is some direct.
What a direct
from
hit.
a sitting president of the United States.
If I'm Sean Fain, I'm like jumping around, like, someone put it on TikTok.
Well, he was pretty close. He was pretty close. So listen to Sean Fain. This sounds a little bit like a Thanos complex to me, personally speaking. He said, we have the power. The world is of our making. Wow. Then he went on and said, the economy is of our making. This industry is of our making. Everybody's listening. When we withhold our labor, we can unmake it.
Wow. That's
He's got the full power glove on, and he's like, watch me snap this fingers.
It's unwild. It is wild to think like.
Check that one more time.
No.
Turn it off. Is it still on?
Still. There it is.
Okay.
It is wild to, like, he does have some of it actually true. Like, if this thing went on 90, 120 days, like a writers union strike for some crazy reason, the impact that auto would experience, and this is we talk about this. 1 in 4 people in the U.S. is directly impacted in their job by auto in some way.
Yep.
And so, like, if you've got the major 3 automakers in the U.S. being impacted by the workers, it's absolutely true. It's a bold statement to say, but
I think bold is an understatement.
yeah, it's an understatement, absolutely. And so, look, fair. It is true, but I hope that it doesn't like emblazon the trail of like we're just going to hold out longer, because we've been saying, and there's been multiple economists and people that have come out and said, hey, 3 to 4 weeks, the industry can withstand it because of the day supply of these OEMs. But if it goes past that, it'll start to have a real impact.
Well, he knows that too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so he's going to push. I think he's going to push past that point. Stellantis said that they have met Biden's call by giving a record contract and emphasized the need for agreement that is fair to both workers and the company. Ford indicated it preferred to handle negotiation without external intervention. Whoop. They said, will the real Joe Biden please sit down?
Oh, wow.
GM reiterated its commitment to reaching an agreement beneficial for its workers and the company future. So here's another little texture to this. Former President Donald Trump was scheduled to visit Michigan, notably at a non-union automotive supplier, and Fain criticized the choice and mentioned Trump's lack of support for UAW during their 2019 strike.
Wow.
Of course, we see several workers expressing their gratitude and excitement over Biden's visit. Some emphasize the significance of the auto industry in building the middle class and their desire for fair compensation. Look, we have to fully, 100% unequivocally agree that the auto industry builds this middle class.
That is true. Like, the auto industry is central to the U.S., its economy, the middle class, and we know that that is true in the automaker side, the OEM side, and in the retailing side. And so we agree with that. There's some crazy things happening. We gave you the UAW update. If we talk too long, we're going to get in trouble.
Absolutely. Maybe I already have, but I know right now the ASOTU team is furiously working on a meme of Sean Fain with a Thanos glove on.
I love
Rightfully
it.
so.
Speaking of a Thanos glove.
Stop. Segue.
Time. Nailed it, Nathan. Nailed it, Nathan.
See, it seems like some big tech companies outside of auto are having a part to play in potentially stifling automation, according to a point of view piece from Fast Company. Now, there's not a lot of cold hard facts, but I really enjoyed this point of view because we see a lot of similarities in auto, and a lot of times we talk about the difference between big tech, legacy tech, and new innovative tech startups, and how there's a dichotomy in the marketplace because of this potential stifling of automation and the
innovation.
Of innovation. Yeah. The writer actually talked and gave some specific examples. So he included an example about IBM. Basically, they dismiss and discredit proven technologies that don't align with their narrative and capabilities because they have so much lobbying at play, so many marketing dollars at play, and such a stranglehold on the market as far as who's using their technology that they can actually start to sway the way that industries feel about new and innovative technology.
I guess that's not surprising. I mean, I think all businesses do this to a point.
Right.
Right, but the fact that they have so much power and the influences, right? Like if you're selling Serta mattresses, right? Maybe the other mattress is maybe a little more quality, a little better, but you're like, no, Serta is the answer to a good night's sleep.
Yep.
Right? But that's a mattress. Big tech has influence over all other industries. And so to see them like being able to put something in so it wasn't just IBM, right?
Yes.
They were like Apple.
He gave specific examples on Apple and Amazon and Google and Microsoft saying, yes, we see the innovation that comes out of those companies, but those companies are still less flexible than new tech startups that have the ability to pivot on a dime, use the newest techs, don't have to re-platform.
They also, but those new companies too, also survival is at stake because if
risky.
they use something that's not the best, somebody else that's in the race with them is going to use it.
Exactly.
It's literally a survival. It's the table stakes.
Yeah, and the other thing that he pointed to was a lot of these companies actually have a lot of part to play in academia because a lot of their research and their R&D comes from academic projects that they fund. And so academia is also impacted by the influence of these large companies. So it's kind of a wild, like, you
It
think
makes
about
sense.
you think about in auto, we just don't look. We look at Amazon and Google and Microsoft as the most innovative, tech forward things. Yet the other industries are looking at those, going, actually, it takes a lot to work with them because of their tech debt, which is something that we deal with in auto just a little bit.
We certainly deal with that in auto. Well, look, it's good to know that we're just not immune to it, but I think that automotive also has shown itself to be like a new nimble is arising within automotive technology.
Yep.
And that's exciting because we've talked about this before, that automotive used to be the leader in tech development. There are a lot of things that automotive did first that now we're behind in, and I think this is the arrow that we have in place to maybe slingshot a little bit and get back in the front as these guys are trying to protect what they built.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
We got an opportunity here in auto.
So we got day 2 coming up. Last night we had a great time. The main sessions this morning, we have Jamie Butters, editor of Automotive News. We have Alan Haig on the panel this morning. We also have a couple of real fun ones. We got the Wheelhouse with Daniel Gover. We have All Things Used Cars with David Long, panels of dealers, industry partners. And tonight we're ramping up to Jesse Cole. Our team picked him up from the airport last night.
It's good to have him here, and then we're going to launch straight into a party and just throw down with 12 South Band and close out strong.
Well, speaking of closing out strong, let's roll the music. We have a big day to get into. We have a lot of people sitting in front of us live eating breakfast and listening. You're listening at home. Follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram. You get the behind the scenes of what's going on at ASOTU CON. We'll see you tomorrow, same time as usual.